Echoing. I'm echoing. And you're not very loud. So Bradford City, rumours are that the owner's now not going to... he's put a bid in to buy the stadium. But going forward, what we heard from the fans forum yesterday, that he's now trying to buy a training ground for Bradford City. And for people who don't know, Bradford City basically share with a school at the minute. So yeah, he's trying to buy a training ground and hopefully get it going from council.
Do you think the training ground, if you buy the training ground, do you think it'll be a success?
I think there's a lot of work going in the training ground start off with. Obviously, we need to buy a bit of land from council. It could take years to do. But yeah, if we get a better training facility, it might improve players' fitness and stuff like that. And then also just other stuff improving, where I might not get enough injuries. Injuries might be lower, and we won't get kicked off the pitches.
Have you made any new signings so far?
We have brought in... Actually, I need to get it up. Off the top of my head, I think we've brought in 4 players at the minute, sorry. They are... When I get it up, 25, 26. So we have brought in Max Power on a free transfer, Joe Wright from Kilmarnock, Josh Novilla, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, from AFC Wimbledon, and also Curtis Till from Salford, all on free transfers.
Do you think there's going to be any more signings, or do you think that'll be it?
With signings, I think we are. At the fans forum yesterday, it was saying Andy Cook's going to be out and probably miss the start of the season. So hopefully we'll get in a striker and possibly bring in another midfielder, a left wing back and a right wing back, because we've got a load of central defenders now, so we don't need any more players in the defensive department.
Yeah. We're also joined by HTAFC.
Hi mate, how are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
So what's been going on at Huddersfield?
Yeah, obviously we've been very... I'm echoing. Oh, sorry, no, I can't. No, it's alright. Yeah, obviously we've been very busy. Obviously at Huddersfield, obviously we needed to be as well. Obviously it's been a really shocking couple of years, really. Mismanagement off the field, stuck with players that aren't necessarily good enough, and yeah, it's just been a nightmare, really. But obviously we made a couple of signings. We've made 4 already. Brought Joe Ledson in, obviously who was at Preston, proper proven at championship level. So yeah, a quality player, leader. We've lacked leaders in this squad for years now, so it's good to be. I feel like we're actually going somewhere as a club now, with these signs. They're all statement signs, in my opinion. And it's nice. It's a refreshing change. Obviously the second player that we brought in was obviously Marcus Harness, who obviously was at Ipswich, part of their promotion to the Premier League. And yeah, again, another experienced player, quality, who plays obviously on the wing, Ledson in central midfield, and then 2 defenders. Obviously we were lacking at the back, really. Obviously we'd let go of a couple of defenders anyway in the summer because they were out of contracts. So yeah, we've had to replace some of those. Obviously we brought in Joe Lowe, who obviously was at Wickham, very good player, quality player actually. You know what I mean? And we actually fought off some championship clubs as well, so it's really good that we actually managed to get him in. And yeah, look, again, big pedigree, lots more potential, still young. And yeah, no, I'm really happy with that. And obviously the last player that we brought, the last player we brought in was Sean Rowan from Lincoln as well. So yeah, look, I'm really happy with the business so far. We need to keep going. There's plenty more to do. I do expect a few more through the door. because we need to do it. But I'm very happy with how things are heading now in the direction, because I can see a direction for years now, especially since the new ownership's coming. We haven't had that. We got rid of our sporting director just before the season finished, actually, who had just failed in every level in recruitment. And now we've got rid of him. Things are starting to look up again, but the damage still remains from the squad that the rubbish that he's brought in, really. So we're kind of stuck with some players that we don't particularly want. Obviously we've actually loaned out Tom Yorpender to Notts County. So, well, you've got a good player there, obviously. A big future for him, really. He's a young lad, obviously, central midfielder. And yeah, obviously, he was really pushing for the first team in our team last season, and obviously got injured second half of the season. That kind of curtailed him a little bit. But look, we have really big hopes for him at Huddersfield. For Tom, he's a really, really good player. So look after him, and I really do think he can really contribute and hopefully help you guys get promoted.
So what do you think went wrong last season then at Huddersfield?
What do I think went wrong, did you say?
Yeah.
Well, I just think there was no strategy, direction within the club. We had a sporting director who was just rubbish at his job, bringing in just not the right profile of players, the right, not the quality that we needed to get out of the division. And if you look at where we finished, finishing 10th in a League One, which, no disrespect, but I think it was quite, if you look at the teams that got into the playoffs, the likes of Leyton Orient, and I'm not taking anything away from the likes of Leyton Orient and Stockport, teams like that, but we should have been up there fighting for promotion. I just think it's mainly the failures off the field with the recruitment, no strategy, no direction, no ambition with the recruitment processes, and we were just going nowhere. We were just going nowhere with what we were doing. So that's my opinion on it. But anyway, last season, thankfully. Don't want to go back there. Just looking forward to the new season now, personally.
So what can you improve on from last season to make this season more better for you, do you think?
Well, I think first and obviously we've got a new manager, which I didn't mention earlier. Obviously, Lee Grant, kind of raised a few eyebrows amongst maybe a few people, but it's a very bold move. But I like that direction, because we've gone with the experienced kind of managers before and it hasn't worked. Obviously, this guy is very inexperienced, but obviously he's been learning under Kieran McKenna at Ipswich, who's at Man United as well. I'm going off topic here, but yeah, so new manager, things looking up. But what went wrong? I just think, what can we improve on? Well, we can improve on everything, because it was just a dreadful season. We had players that just weren't particularly bothered about succeeding. We had players that just basically were just happy to pick up a wage. They didn't want to be at the club, and there was just no fight or pride or anything in there. And look, I just think really, so basically we can improve in every single kind of aspect of everything, because it was just a disaster of a season, in my opinion, because finishing 10th is just not acceptable really for us. We just come down from the Championship, and I know that you don't get any entitlement to be up there, but we should really have prepared better last summer and done, and done a lot better last season. So yeah, just in every aspect, I guess we just want to see more. We just want to, because I think at times we really I just don't think the Michael Duff approach particularly worked here. You know what I mean? I just didn't really see what he was trying to do. His tactics is, so look, I'm waffling on now, but just hopefully everything's improving for next season, really.
So Johnny, following Bradford's promotion, what do you think you can improve on to avoid relegation from next season?
Bringing in experienced players, mixing with a bit of youth, and just basically trying to sort the home and away form out. I know at home we've been fantastic, but away form's not been brilliant. Obviously losing to your team, Notts County, but then beating like MK Dons away and stuff like that, it's a bit up and down the way form. So the team is strengthening in all positions really, hopefully to keep us in League One.
Do you think he'll do it?
Hopefully. The owner at the fans forum basically says he's got the finances to potentially to get promoted to the Championship. We bought the player from AFC Wimbledon yesterday, so hopefully he'll put his hand in his pocket and get us out of this league and hopefully to the Championship or stay in League One for a bit.
So I'm guessing you've all heard the new preliminary round for the Carabao Cup. What do you all think of that?
I think it's an absolute joke that Newport and Oldham have to do it and ban it as well, I think, and Accrington Stanley as well. And it's basically the Premier League teams bullying EFL teams again. And just, it's a farce that is happening. It shouldn't happen. If the Premier League teams don't want to be in the Carabao Cup, what's the point of putting them in the Carabao Cup? And I'm going a bit off topic, but it's like the National League. They've created a crappy National League Cup thing, like an EFL trophy for them lot in the National League. But then you're punishing like EFL teams now because the big boys want to be in Europe.
Yeah, I agree with that. Punishing small teams that have a chance to get European football and also not giving the small clubs opportunities to go far in these competitions because the big boys are saying there's too much games and that stuff, and I think it's pointless. You're basically just ruining football from now on.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, by the way. Because I just think that the Premier League will always... The Premier League just dictates everything, doesn't it, really? You know what I mean? And they talk about cutting the amount of games in the Premier League for these Premier League teams, but yet they're flying off to these pre-season players, pre-season tours at the other end of the world after a full, like, look at Man United, they travelled all that way to Asia to do that pre-season tour, but yet they're saying that, they're playing too many games. Well, those games aren't necessary. So look, I think the Premier League, it's just got to the point now where the EFL and the smaller teams, and the teams down the EFL are just getting overlooked. Well, they've been overlooked for a while now, and let's be honest, but it's just getting worse and worse, isn't it?
Yeah, it is just getting worse and worse. Yeah, it's just disappointing to see just the Premier League's getting all the rights all the time, and it's affecting the EFL clubs. They don't really care about the fans these days. The fans that go week in, week out.
No, that's another thing as well, isn't it? About the Sky Sports Plus that was introduced. The games that are just changing constantly now are just getting worse and worse, and there's no regard for fans. There's no regard for how fans are going to get to these away games. Look at the kickoff times that have been a problem for ages now. They don't care about football, the football fans. They just care about money, and that's what it's about now. Money. Football's just been ruined by money, and that's what it is. And I just think it's a shame that we're in this place now. And there's no going back from this, by the way. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse. And as football fans, we seem to be punished for that. And it's just not right. And this Sky Sports Plus rubbish, it's just made it even worse for us because they're changing more and more games now. So, yeah, it's just utter joke, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you that the Sky Sports Plus thing obviously getting involved last year. Just so many games getting changed to 12:30 kickoffs and 7:45 kickoffs for no reason. It's like they don't care about the fans at all. Obviously travelling to the games, going by car, train, coach. It's just ridiculous.
Harry, what's your thoughts on you've basically not got manager yet?
I just think it's I don't understand why. It took, I think it's like 3 weeks now, I think, after the season's been done. It's just taken so long to just get a new manager in. I think we need a manager seriously soon enough. All these experienced managers we're linked with, all these non-league managers we're linked with. Hopefully we'll get a manager soon. Hopefully.
Who do you hope you get?
Hopefully someone with a good experienced EFL record that gets promotions, and hopefully not a non-league manager we've heard of, because that's who we normally get.
Is the Huddersfield fan still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's your thought on Matty Pearson joining Doncaster?
Yeah, obviously I saw that. Yeah, look, I just think he's a player that I'm glad to see the back of. So I'm not really bothered where he's gone. Obviously, he will be playing his next season, of course. But yeah, he'll probably score against us as well, to be fair. But fact is, he can't defend. He's a dreadful player. And yeah, so yeah, look, fair play to him. He's got another move to Doncaster. I think he might be a good move for him. But like I said, just not a very good all-around player for us. And to be fair, I should never have got him in the first place. But yeah.
Because I know Bradford were linked with him, and he's from my neck of woods, Keighley. People were hoping to get him, but it's according to like the views I've seen from your fans, he seems like he's an oil tanker. He can't turn, and he's not very good.
He hasn't got any pace. You know, he's dreadful with the ball. You know, just constantly kicking the ball out a lot of times. No, to be fair to him, he does get a few goals, so I'll give him that. But he's a defender first and foremost, and he's just constantly out of position. He's just, and I think towards the end of his time with us as well, a lot of unprofessionalism as well. You know, storming down the tunnel after games. You know, when we lost or whatever. You know, shushing the fans when we didn't want to. Basically, we shushing the fans during a match. Because basically our team was just constantly going backwards all season last season, you know, in terms of when we were playing, we were just constantly back to goalie, you know, to the defenders, back to the goal. It's just constantly sideways backwards. Because fans didn't want that. But, you know, especially at home, he thought he could shush the fans. So yeah, unprofessionalism, not very good footballer, and he's lucky really to be at this level. That's the way I see it. Because I don't think he should have ever got to this level. That's my opinion.
And have you brought any players in to start off with? Or is any players gone out?
Yeah, I was mentioning it earlier, I don't know if you heard me, but yeah, obviously we've got Ryan Ledson from Preston, central midfielder. Then we've got Marcus Harness from Ipswich, he's a winger. And then we brought in two central defenders, Joe Lowe from Wickham and Sean Rowan from Lincoln. So yeah, I'm happy with what we've done so far. So we need to keep going, but I'm happy with what we've brought in.
So what do we all think about if we had the opportunity to bring in VAR into the lower leagues?
Oh, no. We do not want VAR in the EFL, I'm telling you now. And you know what really annoyed me, by the way, is why did they bring the VAR into the playoff finals, by the way? The EFL aren't a part of the VAR thing at the moment. I know there's a lot of talk about potentially having it, but they shouldn't have it. We don't have it for the other 46 games, so why are we having it in for the final of the playoff finals? It was ridiculous. That really annoyed me. Not that it impacted me at all, but it just annoyed me anyway, the principle of it all. But yeah, no, I'm massively object against VAR. Takes the joy away from football. I think if you look at what's happening in the Premier League with it as well, just utter chaos. The amount of time it takes to make decisions. There's more controversy with it in place than there is without it. So look, I just absolutely object. We don't need it. We don't want it.
I'm going to be one of them people who says I want it due to stuff what's happened to Bradford City in the past. I know Mark, who's just joined, loves talking when Bradford City talk about the past. But VAR, we need it. Millwall, when Bradford played Millwall ended up scoring a goal what was offside. And if VAR was in then, it would have stopped that goal being offside, and Bradford could have been in the Championship. Also, we've had Richie Smallwood, who did one of his typical tackles on a player. Just a yellow card it would have been. And then the referee decided it was a red card, and if it were VAR, it probably would have said a yellow. But then also the incident, what happened at the Tranmere game as well, when they got a penalty, but wasn't a penalty. And even the goalkeeper at the other end knew it wasn't a penalty. So VAR should come in, and it will probably stop absolutely shocking decisions from EFL officials who keep wrecking the game. And VAR, like I said on a podcast on the 72 podcast yesterday, we could beta test it. EFL clubs could beta test it and make it work and make things change.
No, it won't stop. It won't stop shocking decisions, because if you look at the Premier League, how many decisions have been contested and the controversy it's caused? It won't. It interferes. And for me, look, we can all talk about the decisions that have gone against us, but that's part of football. You're not going to get every decision, and that's the reality. VAR ruins the game. Has ruined the game. I don't like it. So for me, I disagree with you there. You don't even, with VAR as well, by the way, you don't even know if you've scored, you don't even know, you can't even celebrate really when you score a goal. Just takes the enjoyment out of the game, in my opinion. And like I said, people were advocating for VAR to come to the Premier League. When it came in, then people start complaining about it. So that's what will happen with the EFL. Some fans in the EFL may want it. I know a lot of fans that don't. Some fans may want it, but then when it comes in, then we start seeing not make much change. Then you'll start complaining about it. And then once you introduce it, there's no going back, because they won't drop something like that because they haven't done it in the Premier League. So yeah, look, for me, look, referees should just be able to do what they can. They're not going to get every decision right, and it's for and against. That's the way I see it. Anyway, waffle.
So have you had nothing happen to you then this season? Have you had no incidents happen to you this season then? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying to you is why are we bringing in a technology that has been proven in the Premier League that it's making so many bad decisions in that because the people that are operating it don't know what they're doing. That's been true. Of course, we've had decisions that have gone against us in the past seasons or so. Look at that. Look at the going back a few years now, but look at the playoff final against Forest. We were done by you. To be fair, that was the VAR was in that. In fact, yeah, VAR was in that playoff final, and because there's so much corruption, they're filtered down from the Premier League to the EFL now. By the way, because I do believe there's corruption in the EFL now.
Sorry about that. Carry on.
Sorry, I wonder what happened. No, because there's so much corruption within the EFL now. It doesn't matter if you've got VAR in or not. There'll always be that the so-called bigger teams of the league. They'll always get the decisions whether you've got VAR in or not. So I don't think it exactly eradicates them issues that we still face in the EFL. The teams that are at bottom, teams at the top. There's clear disparity. Look at the Championship last season, the amount of decisions that the teams like, Sheffield United, the teams that were all up there, they were getting everything, and the teams at the bottom were hardly getting anything. You're not gonna stop that with VAR introduction. So yeah, that's just the way I see it. So look, I don't like VAR, I don't want it in the EFL, and I just think just doesn't work in its current form, and it won't eradicate what people are preaching it will.
I can see it in a 50-50 way. I think we need it in a way, but then also we don't need it because the people that are running it don't really have a clue on football, really. I think we need it because, for example, I think it was Stockport versus Leyton Orient, where Leyton Orient scored a goal in the first semi-final leg, and you could see it was clear offside. I think if VAR was in that semi-final, I think it would have been offside, and the game could have been changed completely. But I can argue both ways. I think we need VAR sometimes, not all the time, but I think if we test it, and if it doesn't work, then don't use it, but if it does, then use it, because we have seen so many decisions gone the wrong way of other clubs this season, where red cards have been given for normally yellow cards, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But the thing is though, like, for example, I know you talked the game Leighton Orient at Stockport, yeah. Look, that should have been spotted by the officials. Now it wasn't. Why can't we just actually sort out the level of officiating in this country rather than pandering at the feet of VAR and technology that just makes money for these big bosses? No overreach. You know when they said when they brought it to the Premier League that it was there to improve, that it was for the better of the game. It was nothing to do with that. It was nothing to do with that. It's all about them making money from it, and that's all they care about. So for me, how about we put money into improving the officiating in the EFL rather than going down this technology route that has been an absolute shambles in the Premier League, and it's been proven so.
Yeah, I agree with your point there, but I've seen it in games where the liners don't make the decisions because they're normally 6 yards behind play every single time. So maybe if the liners actually kept play with the game, then maybe they call the decisions. But if they don't, I think VAR should be there to support them, if you know what I mean. VAR should be there to support. I know what you mean by let's improve the refereeing and linesmen first. But if they can't see it firsthand on the pitch when the game's being played, then VAR can help step in and help the referees out. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a debate that can be argued for and against, really, can't it? You know, and I get that, but yeah, it's just not. I get what you're saying about it, but the thing is, VAR also has come in to hinder decisions as well. That's the way I see it. So yeah, no, I just can't stand it.
So moving on, what would you like to see happen in your club? What would be like the positive that you need?
On and off the field, I'd like Bradford to eventually, at some point, get their own training ground. I know they're in talks with their local council, probably to buy a bit of land. The ground, I said it in the fans forum again, is put an offer on the table for the ground, but I think the Flamingo Land people are asking for too much money. Possibly, I think about 5 or 6 million they're asking for. Bradford are not willing to pay that. On the field, I think Bradford have got a massive chance of going up this season. New season coming in. We've obviously lost Andy Cook, but he should be back in a couple of games after this, when the new season starts. Bringing some new players. We've done well. Sam Walker signed a new deal. We've brought in Max Power, Till Wright, and the guy from AFC Wimbledon, who, when I saw some goals on YouTube yesterday, is a quality player. Bradford are building, and hopefully we will dominate League One and get out of League One and end up in Championship.
With the National League, should there be 3 teams going up instead of just 2?
Yeah, definitely. I know York spat the toys out at Pramdit the other week because they were 26 points clear, and they balled it, and then they released this statement about they wanted 3 up. We should have done better, but 3 up, they need it in the EFL, the National League. But rumours are it's something to do with, I think when I listened to TalkSport the other day, it on about like youth development and all that lot in the National League if you get relegated. I can't remember what really it said about it, but yeah, definitely 3 up and 3 down. make it fair. Because it's a joke that I think, obviously first goes up, and then is it second plays like fifth or something, and sixth plays third. And it's just a joke of a league, National League, and they need to sort it out.
Yeah, National League should be free up. I think, obviously, you look at the teams that missed out because there was only 2 teams that went up straight. One at automatic and one playoffs. Obviously, we spent 4 years in it. We was lucky to come through at Wembley because if we lost in the playoffs, I think that would have been hard. Because obviously the points that Wrexham and Notts County had, plus 100 points, you surely see both of these teams go up, but in the National League it is a different story. So do you think Wrexham will do a back-to-back to go to the Premier League next season? Johnny?
So say that again, but
Do you think Wrexham will go back-to-back to go to the Premier League?
No. I think Wrexham are going to struggle in the Championship. Obviously, they've got Phil Parkinson, Bradford City former manager. They're throwing money at the wall at the minute. But they're bringing in like old players. I think last time I saw old players with experience. It may work, it may not, but if Wrexham do get back to back and end up in Premier League, I'll eat my words and I apologise, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to struggle. Teams are like, I don't even know, is it Portsmouth and stuff like that? I don't even know who's in. 2 seconds, I'll just have a quick look at this league table. Championship. So looking at so you've got like teams like Middlesbrough, West Brom in there, Norwich, Watford, Portsmouth, Stoke, Derby, Hull. Yeah, I think Wrexham are going to struggle against proper teams. But if Ryan Reynolds throws money at the club, you never know what might happen. I might have to eat my words.
And if they're still here, what do you think?
I agree, to be fair. I think Wrexham aren't going to do very well. I think they will struggle as well. I think if you look at the way they kind of play as well, it's not really going to cut in the Championship. It's very much direct. I just don't think the direct approach in the Championship works as such. But look, yeah, there's a lot of competition. The Championship is such a tough league, and like there's a lot of teams fighting at the top. So I just don't think they will. I think they will struggle. And yeah, it'll probably be. I think they'll be struggling to stay up. Personally, I think they might come back down, but yeah.
So obviously going on to this topic, I don't really think anyone likes MK Dons. Do you think they'll win the league? I honestly don't think they will. I think they'll do what they did last season. Spend so much money on these players. They don't play out as a team, and I think they'll struggle. But many people are predicting them to finish first.
With MK Dons, obviously, the fake Dons. I've been to their ground. It's a Solars Bowl. The owner, is it Pete Winterman, or whatever he's called, he obviously sold it to some Americans. Americans are now throwing money at them and trying to get them out of the league. But with that throwing at the league, you never know what happens. Like you're saying, Harry, League Two is a massive league. It took Bradford 6 years to get out of that league. I know we're going to have a bit of rivalry with Huddersfield Town this season, but getting out of League Two is really hard. It's like saying with National League, it's hard to get out of the National League. I personally don't think they're going to do it. And with MK Dons, they need to buy players and stuff like that to increase the chances, and they probably go for experience. Rumours are like McGoldrick, who used to play for you, probably might be turning up there. But I'm just trying to get league table up. Like League Two table, obviously Bradford are out there now, Port Vale. I think MK Dons will probably finish the bottom half of the table, and I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah, because obviously MK Dons tried to do it last season with the money ball, but they're just buying players at this point. They're not buying a team, and I think if they do want to get promoted, they need to stop buying these individual players and buy players for a team, if you know what I mean. Because they buy players like, say, last season they bought Dan Crawley from us, Aaron Nemain, so many experienced players for League One, Championship level, but if they need to get out of this league, I think they need to stop buying individual players and also play as a team. What's your question, Johnny?
We've just got some breaking news coming out of the National League. Hartlepool United have appointed Simon Grayson as their new manager with immediate effect.
Is he a good manager for Hartlepool?
He used to manage Bradford. I think he's all right at Bradford. And then I think he ended up, if my memory serves me correctly, in the Indian League somewhere there. And now he's back over here. But looking at his stats from last time, he's an all right manager. So he might do all right at Hartlepool. I don't know if there's any other Hartlepool or other National League fans on, but see how he gets on over there.
Yeah, obviously going back to the National League, I think teams like Morecambe and Carlisle, I think Carlisle will probably go straight back up in my opinion, but I think Morecambe will be a struggle. I think they could be going back down again if they don't invest well, buy good players, because I can obviously see them going back down.
Yeah, and also Morecambe got took over the other day as well. Don't know who the players the new owner is off the top of my head is, but they've been taken over.
Do you think Morecambe will struggle?
Yeah. I think Carlisle will even struggle. I know Graham's here is a Carlisle fan and he's probably listening in the corner there, but National League again, like the EFL, it's a hard league to get out of. And as it stands, there's 2 spots to get out of there. Finish first or end up in playoffs. You never know, they might change it to 3 up this season, well, from going forward. But it's a hard league to get out of, and it's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of money, and a lot of patience to get out of that league. You never know, Morecambe, Carlisle, and other teams might be in there for a while until they get out of it.
Is the Huddersfield fan still in here? I don't know his name. Huddersfield fan?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So, with the new manager, do you think you go straight back up?
I couldn't hear what you said, sorry.
So, with your new manager, do you think you'll go straight back up?
Well, the aim has to be to get promoted this time after failing last season. So, yeah, it's very hard to kind of know what's going to happen with this manager because, like I say, we don't really know. He's either going to go very, very well, it's going to go the other way, and it's going to be really, really bad, and he's going to be sacked within a few months. I personally believe that I've got a feeling that it is going to be a good season, and I do believe, well, if we keep signing the players that we are doing, I think there's no reason why we can't be up there and getting, fighting for promotion, and that's what we need to be doing. So yeah, I have optimism for the new season as it stands, but we need to do a lot more. We need to get some more players in, like we have been doing, the right profile of players, right quality. And if we do that, then yeah, I'll be more confident as the season approaches close to the time.
So has anyone announced their pre-seasons yet, or?
Bradford's is Friday. I got confirmed at the fans forum yesterday. And there's a trip to Austria as well. I think, by all accounts, happening. That got confirmed as well at the fans forum yesterday.
Right, yeah, we're going to Austria as well. So I think Bradford are just copying us, to be fair. But yeah, we're going in July time. I think it's the 13th of July for a week. And then, yeah, we've got a few we start our pre-season at Emily in a few weeks, and then we play Burnley at home the week before the season begins, which will be a good test for us. Before we haven't actually announced the teams we're going to be playing in Austria yet, by the way, but yeah, and then we play Burnley when we come back as well, so that'll be a good test for us before the season begins.
Bradford's been a couple of things. Bradford's Pickering rumoured, and Rochdale have been rumoured as well. They've been leaked.
So obviously we only had 3 pre-season games announced yet, so we're playing Alfreton Town at their ground on the 5th of July, and then I think we're going to be playing 3 games in Germany, but only 2 games have been announced so far. I'm not going to pronounce the teams because I'll probably get it massively wrong. So 2 games in Germany, I think one's on Wednesday, sometime in July, and then one's on Saturday the 12th. And I don't know when the third one is going to be, but hopefully it'll be announced soon with our new manager, hopefully. And more important positive news to come. Has anyone else got anything to say?
The Huddersfield fan.
Yeah.
What do you reckon of our rivalry then? What's going to restart this season?
I think he's been very pushed on from you guys over there, but look, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, I don't think I ever remember seeing us play each other, to be fair, competitively. Can't remember the last time we played each other competitively, but look, yeah, it'll be good to have a West Yorkshire derby, to be fair. But yeah, what about yourself? I mean, you won't be used to playing us either, so yeah.
Same as you, I'm about 35 and I've never seen Bradford Huddersfield, so it'll be the first time ever I've come into your ground. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But I'm scared at the same time because we're coming back from League Two, being in the doldrums of League Two for 6 years. Obviously, there's massive rivalry. You've been on our hashtag, we've been on your hashtag. And I think the war's going to start and see whoever wins the battle again.
Yeah, so to be fair, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to coming to your stadium actually, because I've been past it on the odd occasion, but I've never actually been in it, obviously, because we haven't played each other. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to coming to your place as well, to be fair. So yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, Wembley of the North.
God, well.
So obviously with the fixtures coming out soon, who would you like to play in your first game?
I got this question asked on the 72 podcast, and the first game I would want would either be like a game what's miles away, get it out of the way, with like Exeter, Plymouth, or just a home game like against Huddersfield.
Yeah, I mean, for me, look, I want a home game, but I don't really have any preferences to who, to be fair. So yeah, but look, I don't want to play Bradford to it. I want us to play Bradford maybe like a few weeks into the season, potentially, not the first game, but yeah.
I'll probably want a home game to begin with, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe Cambridge away would be nice. First away game of the season.
I'm just dreading though, because I know League One is now come basically the north, with a couple of teams spread from London. But I'm glad that League One is now full of north teams, so I'm not spending thousands of pounds. It's like Huddersfield's just round corner from me. I think who else? Just glad that we've got local teams really around us, Bolton and stuff like that.
I mean, our league is probably based on southern teams now. So all the northern teams have gone up or gone down. I mean, we do have some northern teams, but it's mostly southern now, which is disappointing. Teams in London, all over the country. Still got a team in Wales, so We'll see. We'll see. Anyone else got anything to touch upon? Or
Yeah. What's your situation? What's everyone's thoughts on the situation at Sheffield Wednesday?
what situation? Because I haven't even heard anything about it. Yeah.
The owners not basically paying wages. I think the supporters boards joined in now, kind of thing, at Sheffield Wednesday, because apparently people have not been paid and other bits and bobs.
It's so poor, isn't it? How it's panning out there. That owner. And this is where I think the EFL should have more power. I think that owner should be booted out because he clearly doesn't have any regard for the football club. And he's just, the fact that he's just going around not paying people's wages. I mean, who the hell does he think he is, really? So yeah, I think it's a really shocking situation, really, and one that should never be happening, and shouldn't be allowed to be consistently, because he's been very troublesome since he's walked through the door, really. He's just been very, very poor from what I've seen. And yeah, I just kind of think, like, if that was one of our clubs, how would we feel? And I just think it's just really bad, isn't it, to have, and there's many owners that have just come into clubs and completely ruined them, and I just think he's just trying to do his best to keep himself in the headlines. It feels like it's all about him, and he wants to just keep putting himself in the headlines. But yeah, very, very grim situation there. But I don't really know how it's going to end either. I think it's going to end very badly, to be fair. Well, it's already a bad nightmare probably for Sheffield Wednesday fans, but I do think it's just going to keep getting worse and worse, and that's why the EFL need to step in and really, he shouldn't be allowed to be an owner of a football club if he's carrying on the way he is, because it's just not good enough.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. I think an owner should be where he cares about the club and also he cares about the sport, because you have so many owners these days just buy the club and don't really help, if you know what I mean. You see so many times over the years where owners buy football clubs but they've never even heard of the sport. They just do it to get popular, really, and that's the main thing about it. Because you seen Bury got created a couple of years ago because the owner didn't pay, or they didn't get a new owner in time. Bolton nearly got created, and also I think it was Derby, right, that nearly got created as well. I'm not good with these, but it's just not nice to see owners ripping apart the clubs that the fans love. They go week in, week out, but if they don't have that anymore, then it's sad to see. So, anything else before I go, or is that it? From Johnny or the Huddersfield fan?
Where do you think Notts County are going to finish this season? And this echoes in my head.
I think Notts County will probably finish. If we do get a good experienced manager, I think we'll probably finish top half. But if we get that Alvarez guy in, I think we'll probably struggle. But I would like to say top 6, hopefully. Where do you think Bradford will finish next season?
Hopefully, in my deluded world, first or second, playoffs, but probably will finish mid-table.
The Huddersfield fan, where do you think you'll finish this season?
Well, like I say, if you continue the way we are, I know it's obviously a bit of a thing with, we don't know what to expect from the new manager, but I think we should be targeting the top 2. So that's where I believe we'll finish.
And do you think you should bring in more signings, or what would you like to see players coming into your team?
Yeah, no, we're still short in a few areas. Obviously, we definitely need another striker through the door. I think we need I think we need some more options on the wings as well. On the left, I think we need another central midfielder as well, personally. And probably if we can, well, like I said, I feel like we need to sort the goalkeeping situation as well at our club as well, because like, we've had Chapman in goal and then we've had Nichols in goal. I just think both of them are not really number ones. I'd like to see Nichols sold, and I'd like to see us getting another keeper. I've pinpointed that guy from, he's from Crystal Palace, but he was on loan at Wimbledon last season, Owen Goodman. A fantastic season with them. They obviously helped them to promotion. I think that he would be a player that I'd love to see come on loan to us as a number one. But yeah, so lots of work to do, but yeah, that's what I'd like to see, really.
So the guy that we signed from you, is it Tom? I can't pronounce his last name.
Tom Yorpender.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be a good signing from us?
Yeah, no, like I was saying earlier, I really think he's a top player. Obviously, still fairly young, but he's a player that we very much think highly of, and I think that he just needs that experience now, going out and experiencing senior football. But yeah, look, I think he will be able to, add something to your team, and yeah. So look, I've got high hopes for him for next season. I will be checking, see how he's doing, but I really think if he can have a really strong season with you guys, I think then he'll be ready to come into our team following season. I do really think he's a star in that midfield. I think he's a very good player. He's very strong. He's got a lot of pace as well. Comfortable on the ball. And yeah, we saw glimpses of him last season, like I said, mainly in the cup competitions, but I do like what I've seen in glimpses, and I've been following him obviously through our academy as well. So yeah, really, really nice guy, really nice, polite guy, really hard work. He'll give you 110%. He's very hard working. And, yeah, I just think he's got that quality as well. So yeah.
Johnny, any more signings you would like to see at City?
Probably just a left back, wing back, midfielder, attacking midfielder, and possibly one or two strikers.
Any names that you know of?
Rumours are Naki Wells, that's been on Twitter and stuff like that. Been linked with a couple of other players, rumours of Jatta from your team. And that's it, really.
Any more rumours from Huddersfield?
Yeah, obviously there's been a few. Obviously we've been linked with Connolly, who plays at Bolton, obviously a striker. I think he's Aaron Connolly at Bolton. Or Adam Connolly, I think. I can't remember his first name, but yeah, Connolly at Bolton anyway. Nathan Lowe, potentially on loan, more or less. And that's all I've really seen recently, to be fair, at the moment. Been linked with this guy from the Dutch league, but I don't really know who he is and don't want him. But yeah, she will hear a few more things over the next week or so.
If you was the manager, who would you bring in to help your team out?
I think Nathan Lowe would definitely be a player that I'd be looking at. Obviously, look how well he did at Walsall in League Two last season. He's just a player that we need. In terms of other areas, I just want to see some experienced players come in that are actually going to be leaders on that pitch, because we've not had a lot of leaders on that pitch for ages now. The only one that we've really had over the years is Jonathan Hargrove. He's left now, and that's the only one that I feel. Well, Hellick was a lead. I think Hellick was a leader before he left in January as well. But I think we've been lacking leaders, so I just want to see some players that have the right profile for us to help us, you know what I mean, and want to play for the club as well. So, yeah, no names that I can think of at the moment, apart from Lowe. I definitely like Lowe up front, but can't really think of anybody else at this point.
Johnny, if you was the manager, who would you sign?
Well, just on about what the Huddersfield fan one about there. Rumours are Bradford were after him as well. Loan. So, like I said, like what the Huddersfield fan was saying, I would love him at City. He proved it at Walsall. Obviously, he proved it at Stoke when he went and scored back on his debut there. Bradford need an out-and-out striker. And Nathan Lowe could be it. Also, Nike Wells, if he comes, you never know though.
I think that's it really. Thank you, Johnny, and what's your name, sorry?
Ryan.
Ryan, thank you for joining on. Thank you for people who's listening. And I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye.